Welcome back to the Everyday Faith Podcast from Eastside with today's faith-rooted principle. Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is, and we're coming to you with today's rooted principle. I'm Isaac Johnson, and your rooted principle for today is to stabilize your heart and mind, realizing that God is in control. And we find this in Ephesians chapter number 3, verse 16 and 17. The Bible tells us there that He would grant you, according to the riches of His glory, to be strengthened with might by His Spirit in the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love. And you see this over and over again in this verse. I think the principle comes out that it's all about Him and being rooted in Him and grounded in His love, and that's where we find our stability. You know, in a world that often is changing, in a world that you can turn on the news and there's always bad news going on, things that don't seem like it's too great, and chaos and in the government and just all sorts of chaos in our world, wars and rumors of wars and things like that. But we can find, as Christians, we can find stability in Christ, knowing that He doesn't change. He said this, He said, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I change not. And He doesn't change. And, you know, if other things govern our life, if we find, if we're trying to get our happiness from money, or if we're trying to get our happiness from something else in life, life's going to be like an emotional roller coaster. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. But when we truly find our satisfaction and we root ourselves in Christ and root ourselves in His Word and find our happiness in Him, we'll be stabilized in our happiness. Our happiness comes from Him, and we have a promise that no matter what happens in this world, no matter how bad the news may be, that God's will is being done, that He remains faithful, and we can remain faithful to Him. And so that's our principle for the day. Remember to stabilize yourself in Christ. Don't depend on your happiness coming from anything else but Jesus Christ. Today's passage, if you're following along with our yearly Bible reading, comes from Genesis 4 through 6, and then Matthew chapter number 2 in the New Testament, Genesis chapter 4 through 6 in the Old Testament, and Matthew chapter number 2 in the New Testament. Thanks for joining us for today's Rooted Principle right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast. If today's conversation has encouraged you, be sure to share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast.